President Trump today announced he will nominate Christopher Wray to serve as the next FBI director. Wray is a white-collar criminal defense attorney who led the Justice Department's criminal division during the George W. Bush administration. Wray is known for leading as well the federal investigation of Enron, and he represented New Jersey Governor Chris Christie in the Bridgegate scandal. My next guest says that he sees no smoking gun in former FBI Director James Comey's account of his past meetings with the president. Joining us tonight, Ambassador James Woolsey, former Director of Central Intelligence. Jim, it's great to have you with us. Your thoughts on, first, the testimony that is to come from Jim Comey as to how exciting it is and how determined it is on some of the charges, many of them spurious, that have been lighting up Washington, D.C.
Well, I read through it late today when it came out, and I think if you put the day's hearings together with the testimony that's coming tomorrow, we really do have a rather substantial victory for the White House and the President on this. I think it's pretty clear that all of the talk of obstruction of justice was garbled almost entirely, because the FBI does two kinds of investigations. They do counterintelligence investigations, and they also do investigations of crimes. And nobody could find a crime here very much, so they kept talking about obstruction of justice, even though in theory it would only apply to the counterintelligence. Right. But there is no obstruction of justice of counterintelligence. It's like saying if you drop a fly ball, then you're out, but you're playing football. I mean, it's the infield fly rule doesn't apply to football.
It's interesting. I think the level of discourse in those private meetings, as recounted by Jim Comey in his testimony tomorrow, showed that it was elevated. It was to the point. It was professional discussion of national security issues, values, objectives, and goals. I mean, what more could you ask between those two men?
I think that also, to some extent, the military especially performed well in the hearings. Mike Rogers, the admiral who heads NSA, was particularly forceful and clear, I think. I think it shows the advantage of having experienced pros in your second level of witnesses and so forth. They did a good job.
If I may say, in my opinion, Jim, the Admiral slapped down as gently, quietly, and professionally a number of senators as could have been, to keep it proper and to keep it straightforward. I thought all of the intel chiefs made every single one of the Democratic senators who got up on their high horses and went as low as they could look like what they were, de minimis and absolutely partisan to the point of extreme pettiness.
Yeah, I think Mike was a steel fist inside a velvet glove. He was very gentle, but when it needed to be that way, he was firm and he was clear and he understood the issues extremely well.
Yeah, and I thought all of the people representing, whether it be the FBI, whether it be the NSA, whatever the agency there, they did just a terrific job. And I thought the line of attack from the left in that hearing, I don't know about you, but I was surprised just by the shallowness of it, the partisan fervor that was expressed, and the rudeness that resulted.
Well, this was one that I think the President and the White House in general, the administration in general, and including its professional appointees like Mike Rogers, did very well by the country and the government in order to put some things straight that had been garbled before.
And the Washington Post continues to be an activist organ of the Democratic Party. and today was slapped down in real time by the very officials, the leaders of those agencies themselves, about whom they had written. And the Post must be wondering how it could run more afoul of both truth and respected leaders of official agencies.
Well, there's been a lot of entertainment value, I suppose, in some of the toing and froing that's led up to these hearings, and particularly the hearings tomorrow. But, you know, the way I look on it, Lou, it's Madison put together a Constitution for us which emphasizes conflict. And the conflict is always there between the three branches, and this is one perfect example of it. But the conflict has a purpose because we work out our frustrations and anger and so forth in fighting between the three branches. And, you know, as a result, in 2¼ centuries, we've had one republic, and we have had elections every 4 years, two years for the House. And our French friends, for example, have had 5 republics, 2 kingdoms, 2 empires, and a reign of terror. And you know, we've done pretty well, by the way, Madison and his colleagues structured our government, and this is one manifestation of it.
Credit more their design than perhaps our capacity at the current modern age. But nonetheless, going the president's way, going the people's way, and with any kind of self-respect, I believe the Dems will retire from this engagement in an effort, along with the deep state, to subvert President Trump and his entire administration. That's a hope, and I realize only a hope. Ambassador.
Excuse me, I do think one lesson here is important. I think that the professionals did very well for the president and the administration, and he's had a tendency in some cases for second-level appointments to yaw off into folks who don't have any substantive background in the area that he's appointing people in, and I think this shows why you want people like Mike Rogers in the picture and in the second-level appointments, because in his first-level appointments he did superbly with people like Jim Mattis and others. So we're, you know, they're maybe getting there, but they lack enough people to get a lot of jobs done right, because they haven't gotten their appointments rolling in.
Well, Ambassador, as you know, it's early days, and what this president has in the midst of all of the thunder and the lightning, what he's managed to accomplish in short order, if this foretells the rest of his 8 years as president, it's going to be quite something.
I hope it does. This is like the speech in Riyadh. It's a high point of the administration's efforts.